the hell do you even say to that, man? Seriously. That was about as deflating a loss I have ever seen from any iteration of the Cavaliers. I mean, you score 80 points in the first two quarters to score 38 in the second half. In addition to letting Los Angeles just completely obliterate you down the stretch. I was telling people, man, don't worry. They're going to get this shit done. They're going to take care of the job, even when the score was dwindling down and the lead was dwindling down. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, man, there is absolutely no fucking way JB Bickerstaff and company are going to let a 26 plus point lead be erased. There's just not much I can say other than this is one of those losses that gets coaches fired. I'm not saying that JB is going to be fired. Look, I don't know. I don't control things. I'm not sure what's going to happen. You have 3 games left on the season. I really don't know what they're going to elect to do. I just don't think that you walk away from a loss like this and you think to yourself that a guy is the guy for the future. And for me, I've had the utmost faith in JB. You guys know that. I've stood by him, right? I've tried to, a lot of you think I make excuses for him. I don't. I just try and give him the benefit of the doubt just because of the progression every season. But that was about as indefensible a loss I have ever seen. As TuneIn says down here, it's too late to fire him. You have 3 games left on the season. Very, very, what we consider very, very winnable games against the Charlotte Hornets and the Memphis Grizzlies. They don't look so winnable. They don't. I mean, this team, they could lose to anybody they play on any given day. And that is sad to say, especially after the season that we had to begin the year. And for me, people are sitting here literally saying to me, I see in these comments over here, are you still defending JB? No, clearly, if you're listening to me right now, I'm not defending JB. There's no defense. This is exactly what I said last night. Mintac, I'm sure you meant mental, is low. Are you still defending JB? No, you're listening to me right now. You're listening to me right now. That is indefensible. That is completely on JB Bickerstaff. The players, yes, they played their role in this, but man, the lack of adjustments, just absolutely stunning. Just absolutely stunning in that second half. They took their foot off the gas. Guys just look lackadaisical, and it was piss poor defensive effort, man. I don't know how to feel right now. I don't know how to feel. I see X Factor 2005 says, looks like draft prospects. Here I come. Yeah, I got some draft content I'll be dropping throughout the next couple of days, just like I did 2 years ago, with Ochai Agbaji and, that draft class. But Jesus Christ, this is just piss poor. Just piss poor. Now, that first half, I'm like, man, this is exactly what this team needs. It's a palate cleanser after the disappointing loss against the Lakers. They put up 80 points. DG looks like he's confident. He looks like himself. We see Evan Mobley doing this and that and attacking in the painted area and not being afraid and to pull up from 3-point distance when given the opportunity and given the space to. We see a lot of different things. We see Jarrett Allen having a pretty good start. We see Mack Strus looking the best that he's looked since he's come back. All for naught, man. All for naught. Just absolutely shitter of a performance. And I cannot be any more discouraged with this team right now. I still feel confident that they can win, on any given night, but they can also lose on any given night as well. And that's just the reality of the situation that we're in. It truly feels like a tale of like 2 or 3 seasons within one season for this team. There's just so many different themes that we have seen this team deal with throughout the year. It just sucks, man. It just sucks. And I know this probably does not make for good podcasting today, but man, that one hurt. That one hurt. Just played like they did not care in that second half. And I don't get it, man. I really do not get it. I don't get how you can take your foot off the pedal like that. You had them by the jugular, man. You had your foot on their throats and you piss it away. I don't get it. I seriously don't. I've seen a lot of comments been thrown my way about the rotations tonight, about Sam Merrill not getting enough minutes, about, guys playing too much on the second half of a back-to-back, and I'm just, man, it's indefensible. What more? I don't even know what to say. I cannot make excuses for what just happened. I cannot rationalize it. There's literally nothing else that I can really say other than agree with most of you about what is being said. I mean, young Matt makes a good point down here. He says that game represents the Cavs season. First half, 80 points, cooking, yes. And second half, terrible, just like the second half of the season has been like so far. It feels that way, man. This has been a brutal season. That's why I say it feels like it's like 2 or 3 seasons within one season because the Cavs have dealt with so many different injury issues. The coaching has been lackluster, if not damn right frustrating at times. And you just see guys, the body language, the consistency issues that this team continues to have. Not what you want to see heading into the playoffs. We are literally limping into the postseason. Just absolutely limping into the postseason and playing uninspiring basketball at certain points. Just once in these last 3 games, I just want to see a wire-to-wire victory against a solid opponent. I wanted this team to get a confidence booster today. Looked like it was trending in that direction in the first half, and then it just I don't know what to say, man. The wheels fell off the floor. The roof caved in. Whatever you want to say, it's frustrating, man. And it's too late at this point in time. They're not going to fire JB. I'm sorry to say that. Sorry to point that out. Barring something unforeseen, they're not going to fire JB Bickerstaff. It's too late into the season. It truly is. If anything, what'll happen is, they'll have their playoff series, win or lose, and JB still might be canned. I don't know. I'm looking at this and I'm trying to say to myself, this team is still very capable of winning a playoff series. But after a game like tonight, I'm just not sure, man. I'm just not sure. Tom Gay says limping would be better than what Cavs are doing, belly crawling into playoffs. Certainly feels that way, man. Certainly feels that way. It sucks. Just absolutely sucks. And I understand the frustrations. I'm right there with you guys. Like I said, I've been rocking with JB and this crew the entire season, but I cannot defend today. I can't defend yesterday. It just sucks ass, man. I'm tired of this team fooling us, right? I'm tired of them going out there and looking like a contender in one quarter or one half and then looking like a complete lottery team the next. I don't know. I don't know what else to say. And that's all I can sum it up with. There are individual performances today that were fantastic. They looked good. There are good things to point to. Like I said, Darius Garland was phenomenal. Darius Garland was phenomenal today at certain stretches outside of that, the stretch in the fourth quarter where a lot of people are complaining that he just does not have that clutch gene and he couldn't get the job done. Down the stretch there, getting blocked by Paul George in the last sequence of the game. Max Strus again, it was just probably the best game that he's had since he's been back. 20 points, 9 assists out there, making plays for guys, keeping the ball moving, constantly on the move, whether it be cutting or running DHOs. And then having that 3-ball drop for him, that was good. That was good. Caris LeVert, another pretty good performance from him. I mean, Evan Mobley, we talked about him already. It is another 20-point performance for him. But down the stretch in that fourth quarter, I believe that he played I think he played 6 minutes in the fourth quarter, something like that. And he just didn't get any touches. There were no plays run for him. The sets just looked completely uninvolved for him. And the Cavs, I don't know what it is. They failed to feature him at specific points after he has shown that he has the ability to impact the game on the offensive end when he's playing aggressively. And they just don't include him enough in the offense, in my opinion. And that right there is a JB problem. You look to the bench. It was nice to get Isaac Okoro back today. I thought he played fantastic throughout. But it's not going to seem that way because Paul George ended the game with 39 points. I mean, this is just a game that you look to and you say to yourself, why? How did this happen? I'll tell you how it happened. JB Bickerstaff. JB Bickerstaff was the problem today. I just you will rarely hear me say some shit like that, but that's just the case. JB Bickerstaff was the issue today. There was no adjustments after Ty Lue in Los Angeles adjusted to begin the second half, and it just continued on into that fourth quarter. Absolutely piss poor job. Frustrating. You look to the bench usage here. Markieff, Marcus Morris, 13 minutes out there. Sam Merrill, 6 minutes. I believe guys just did not get enough run, especially on the second half of a back-to-back. And I say, I look at the minute distribution tonight, and I say to myself on the second half of a back-to-back, probably should have tried to get some of these guys like Sam Merrill, Tristan Thompson. I don't know, even Marcus Morris, a little bit more run out there just to keep the mileage off of this team when they've been so brittle all season, and you don't want them to limp into the playoffs. We didn't have Donovan Mitchell today because he's not playing the second half of back-to-backs, and there's injury management, load management going on with him, and that's justifiably so. And I believe I said before today's game that I would be okay with Donovan Mitchell sitting the rest of the season. Today's performance doesn't change that. But it just goes to show that when these types of games happen, when you need your superstars to be out there and you don't have Donovan Mitchell, I'm just not sure that that this team has enough to win big games without Donovan Mitchell. Nate says 2-point loss to a contender. I'm not tripping. Nate, you can argue it's not a 2-point loss, bro. They gave up a 26-point lead. They gave up a 26 fucking point lead. This is not a 2-point loss, in my opinion. This felt like a 10-point loss, bro. This felt like a 10 to 15-point loss. They literally scored 38 points after scoring 80 in the second half. Oh, after scoring 80 in the first half. This is not a 2-point loss as far as I'm concerned. I don't mean to harp on you. Don't mean to jump on you, bro. I respect your opinion. No. Some losses sting a hell of a lot worse than others. Today is a case of that. No, I'm sorry. I can't. I just can't. I can't do it. I cannot say that this loss didn't mean anything to me because this honestly felt like the worst. And there's a lot of candidates for what I'm about to say, but this felt like the worst loss of the season. Felt like the worst loss of the season. I see a lot of you guys saying Emily. Jesus, I'm stumbling on my raw words. That's how moved I am by this loss today. Tom K says, Nate, love the optimism, but this stretch does not warrant it. Absolutely. You guys know I'm probably one of the most optimistic Cavs fans out there, one of the most positive people in regards to this team, right? And even for myself, this stretch of basketball has just been ass. I mean, there's no consistency. There's a lack of urgency at times. The coaching has been just unbelievably inept. And I don't know and then you compound that with the injuries, the consistent roster, inconsistency in regards to not having guys available and dudes being in and out of the lineup. I don't know, man. I'm truly at a loss for words here. I'm probably not going to stick around too much longer for this pod just because there's not much to talk about. There's not much to really discuss outside of the fact that this is just a terrible, terrible loss. Seriously. Tomas Regula. Hey, I'm not gonna let you forget. You thought you jumped in here and thought I was just gonna make excuses for JB. Pushing back on that because that's just the case. This was undoubtedly, to me, the worst loss of this season. I get Charlotte is a nothing team, right? In Portland, these are lottery teams, right? Without their best players out there, especially for Charlotte with no LaMelo. But this loss, after you had a 26-point lead, this hands down to me is the worst loss of the season. It is what it is, man. It is what it is. And for me, I'm just I'm going to try and move past it. We do have 3 games left this season to get shit in order, but man, oh man, it stung about as bad as any loss that I have ever seen from this team. You even look at the stat lines here. It's not like the Cavs played a bad offensive game all around, but it was the second half, man. It's the second half. Floyd Phillips II says, if JB was coaching in LA, he would have been fired at the end of last season. Absolutely. I mean, absolutely. But again, I mean, they have Darvin Ham. Darvin Ham is not exactly he's not exactly a world-beating coach. He just has some of the best players in the world deployed. So I don't know. I can't really say whether or not JB would be fired or not. But clearly these two, LA, if you're talking about the Clippers or the Lakers, I don't know. But those two teams are in a different kind of stratosphere in terms of their timelines. So I don't know. Tom K says tonight was worse just to lose such a lead against a playoff team, not how to head into postseason. Yeah, that's exactly how I feel. This is the worst loss of the season. This is completely on JB as far as I'm concerned. And I would not be surprised to see some notification rolled across my screen after this postseason that JB is gone. I will no longer be surprised. Tune in says we got to close strong. Absolutely co-sign that. There's no way that you can back into the playoffs like the Cavs have been. It's just, it is what it is at this point in time. That's all I can say. That is really and truly all I can say. I'm not going to sit up here and bitch and complain anymore about it. All I'll say is that this is a bad loss, and on to the next one. Again, they're not going to fire JB. It's incredibly too late into the season in order for that to happen. Now you look at where the Cavs are seeding wise. I see a lot of people suggesting down here that we're going to be playing the Knicks in the 4-5 matchup. Certainly possible. And you know what? I would not be pissed about that. It gives the Cavs an opportunity to get some revenge. It would be a confidence booster of a first round series. And I mean, that's about all I can say. I mean, even though that New York team is basically not even the same team that we played last year, they still do have some of the guys who haunted us, namely Mitchell Robinson. There's certainly a chance that this Cavs team can get some get back and earn some revenge and confidence in the process. But I don't know, man. I look up and down at these matchups here, and Indiana, Miami, Philadelphia, New York, Orlando. Hell, this Cavs team could lose to any one of them. That's where we're at right now. And it sucks to say that. That said, if you guys would like to reach out to me, you know how you can. It's Cavalier_pod on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and more. If you'd like to be added to the It's Cavalier Discord chat, you know what to do. Leave a rating, leave a review, send a screenshot of said review to itscavalier53@gmail.com, and I will send you an invite. Thanks for stopping by. Sorry to be such a downer, guys. I truly want to be positive about this team, but they have given me nothing lately to be positive about outside of a few individual performances. I'll put it that way. If this is your first time listening, I'm sorry you had to listen in on such a downer of a podcast. Do me a favor, hit that like button. Might even want to subscribe. You never know what you're going to find. There's going to be a ton of draft content that I'll be rolling out here pretty soon over the next couple of days. As soon as we know where we're selecting, I've been kind of waiting to drop that just because I want to know what pick we're going to be slotted in at, and I guess we'll take it from there. That said, go Cavs. Have a good one.